after I was transferred to regimental headquarters, I was bounced around quite a bit. The place I remember the best, of course, was the Punch Bowl, because it was a real part of the Korean War history. And it was quite a battle had been there. We were there afterwards, of course. But to be at the actual location of a historic battle site was, I found rather fascinating. I was very, very, very fortunate. I was never, ever exposed to any danger. After I zeroed in the rifle when I first got it, I never fired a shot. I was right next to people that did. Only once while I was, and this was at the Punch Bowl, only once was there a breakthrough of our lines by a combination of North Koreans and Chinese. And they broke through our lines at one point, and we got out of our, were called out of our tent at night. For some reason, they like to do their attacking at night, whereas we usually did it in the morning. At any rate, they all carried flashlights and would make sounds. They have like whistles, or I think occasionally something like a gong, but they would make a tremendous, all the noise that they could possibly make, and then come down the hill with flashlights. And of course the intent was to terrify, I guess, our troops. But our troops knew all about this tactic, and well, even though they broke through for a while, they never reached the bottom of the Punch Bowl, and they were pretty well cleaned out. I don't know that many of them ever got back to their own lines. I don't think so. At any rate, it was interesting to see these lights go out one at a time. Also very scary. The Army is a 24/7 situation, and as a result, you didn't have a great deal of time on your hands. During off hours, there was always a poker game on payday. We were paid once a month, and you were paid either in cash or you could send an allotment home. And I didn't feature myself as a particularly good poker player, so I tended to avoid it. But one night I did decide to get into a game. Somebody hauled me off and said, well, we need one more person for this poker game. So I was dragged over to the poker game. Well, as luck would have it, I couldn't lose. I made, probably 4 months' pay that night. And I was never invited to another poker game, so it worked out for both of us, or all of us. I was going to be traveling home pretty soon, and one night at around midnight, we suddenly heard all this artillery firing, and it was quite loud. There was an artillery battalion that was located behind us, and apparently they were shooting at something. And of course, we all piled out of bed, and well, the first thing you do is you grab your rifle, and then you get dressed. And as it turned out, they were just simply firing blank ammunition. They weren't firing shells at all. They were just firing the powder, but it made just as much noise. And we had to discover that a ceasefire had been declared. Anyway, it certainly frightened us until the word was spread around, which it did very, very quickly. Within an hour, we knew what the what it was all about. At some point, I had to train a replacement to do the work that I was doing at that time. And when he came and reported to me, saying that I understand I'm going to be doing your job, I was very happy to see him. And of course, it carved the thought in my mind that, hey, I am really going to go home. And eventually did.
Woody returned to California and finished his degree at UC Berkeley. He worked for a furniture manufacturer and eventually started his own corporation retailing computers. He and his wife moved to Walnut Creek and raised 4 children.
We came back from Southern California in 1972 and moved into the home here in Walnut Creek that we've lived in ever since and live there now. I can't think of any other place I'd rather live. This is, to me, just a wonderful part of the world, and we've been all over the world. I've been on all 7 continents, but there's no place like home, and home happens to be here in Walnut Creek. We love it.